10 things I'm going to talk about, probably more, that you might be doing, fashion that you might be wearing, that could be making you look cheap. As usual, this is just my opinion, so please take it with a grain of salt. And if you disagree with me, I would love to know. And leave me lots of comments. I want to know if you agree or disagree. First off, let's talk about jewelry. All fashion accessories go in and out of fashion. Now, there was a time, I don't know when this was it in the 90s? It was quite a while there where colourful jewelry was really popular, and even more so, big colourful jewelry. I think that look could be a little bit dated depending on the type of jewelry, but if it's too big, too chunky, too colourful, it could be dominating your whole outfit. Unless you have your own unique style going on with jewelry, and some women do, and they do it fantastically. You really do know how to put your jewelry together really well, and people often compliment you on how you wear your jewelry because you might multi-layer and wear more jewelry than most other women. But if you're doing it particularly well, you've got a skill that actually most of us don't have. I think wearing too much jewelry at once as we're getting older, particularly over 60, I think that could be a little bit aging, a little bit dated. It can look a little bit cheap. I think it can cheapen an outfit. I do occasionally wear a little bit more jewelry. In fact, I have 4 pieces of jewelry on right now. Right now I have a pair of hoops on. I have a simple chain with a little heart pendant on it. Normally I wouldn't do this unless I'm dressing up and going somewhere I want to look a little bit dressy, but I've got a chunky faux pearl ring on, and the chain bracelet with some faux sea pearls. Fake sea pearls. Most days I wear 2 pieces, a pair of earrings, usually a pair of hoops, and a simple pendant. If you enjoy this type of video, please subscribe. I was in the fashion industry for over 35 years. I have a passion for fashion, and I want to share that with you. Oh, and don't forget to give me a like. It is so appreciated. Textured pantyhose and fishnet stockings or fishnet pantyhose. I think they're a little bit costumey, particularly the fishnets, and that's how I happen to own a pair of fishnets. I bought them for a fancy dress event. If you really like wearing textured stockings or fishnets or both, let me know. I'd be really interested, and I'd really like to know how you wear them. But I think that one way to wear them is not with a short dress. I know they were once a trend, probably the 80s, but I think they're dated, and sometimes I think what is dated can make you look cheap. And so I think there are certain items as we get older that we just have to wear rather cautiously or not wear at all. So while I'm talking about fishnets, something else I want to mention that I really personally think looks a little bit cheap, particularly over 60, is skirts and dresses too short. I don't care how fabulous your legs are. I think there's a limit of how short you can wear a dress or skirt without cheapening the outfit. Well, of course, that's going to be a personal choice, but I'm talking well above your knees. I'm talking a true mini skirt or dress. I do think they're best left for the young. I've been going out dancing a little bit more lately, and it is casual where I go. I'd say a lot of women that are going to the bands that I'm going to would be at least over 50, and lots of them would be over 55 and 60. I can't believe how many women I'm seeing in short dresses. Lots of the dresses are just moderately short. They're just above the knee. Some of them I think don't look so stylish, but that could be more to do with the style of the dress. I have seen a few women well into their 50s with really short dresses. I just don't think it's a classy look. That's just my opinion. But for heaven's sakes, if you're going to wear your dresses and your skirts short, don't wear them with fishnet stockings. The other thing about the short dresses and skirts that I quite dislike, and I think does look cheap, is wearing them with chunky boots, or any kind of boot actually, or a high heel. I think the ankle boot look, and I've seen them with cowboy boots, I think they really don't look good on older women with these really short dresses and skirts. And as I said, the heels. If your heel's high and you've got the short skirt on, I know what term I want to use to say what I think that looks like, but we'll just say I think it looks a little bit cheap. And really I think that applies to all boots, whether ankle boots or over the knee boots. I just think at a certain age, it's just not classy. I think if you're going to choose to wear your skirts and your dresses a little bit shorter than what other women wear them, or quite a bit shorter, I think that probably just wear them with sandals or just a slight heeled and something very moderate, something in a nude shade, and don't make a real feature out of what's on your feet with the short skirt as well. Leopard print and animal print has been mentioned many times when we're talking about what can make you look cheap? And I love leopard print, and I do have a little bit in my wardrobe, only a little bit. And I think that's always the key with leopard print. Don't pile it all on. Don't wear all your leopard print together. Don't try and coordinate your shoes with your bags. It's too Patsy from Ab Fab. I don't know how many of you ever watched that show, Absolutely Fabulous, the fantastic British comedy with Patsy Stone, played by the wonderful Joanna Lumley. But I don't think that we can think of Patsy without thinking of leopard print. I'm definitely not saying throw out all your leopard print, but just remember a little bit goes a long way. And don't wear your leopard print with fishnet stockings either, and I wouldn't wear leopard print short. I think most of us know this one, visible bra straps, particularly when the bra strap is a contrasting colour, when it's a stronger colour or a darker colour than our top. Some ladies, this might be nitpicking, but one thing I really dislike, and I think it cheapens a dress or a skirt, is when the lining doesn't go almost to the hemline. When part way along, halfway along, or 3/4 along, or even higher than halfway along, the lining stops. I don't know why manufacturers do that, because I've even seen that on more expensive garments. I've even bought dresses and skirts like that because I've actually loved the style and loved the fit, but I could never quite get used to the fact that the lining, if you can see through it, if you can see through the fabric, that the lining is sitting way above the hemline. I really think it cheapens the garment. It's not just fast fashion where I see this. Sometimes I'm quite surprised to see mid-range and more expensive dresses with the lining way above that hemline. Something else I think that can cheapen you is wearing too much perfume. You know, sometimes you've been out and you've stood next to a woman or passed by a woman and it almost seems like she's doused herself in a certain perfume. A lot of women have trouble with perfumes, and guys too actually. They find the smell is so overpowering. Some people actually even can get headaches from perfume. So to rotate my favorite perfumes, I would wear one for several years and then I'd switch to another one. And then I stopped wearing it. For many years, I just stopped wearing perfume and I just used body spray, and I would look for really nice, natural smelling body sprays that weren't overpowering, and they're not easy to find because I used to look all the time. Recently, I went back to wearing a perfume, and a lot of women consider this quite a young perfume. It's Angel. Now, I know some women don't like it. I understand that. And some women might think it's a bit young for me, but I'm always careful just to spray just a tad, just a hint. I think when it comes to grooming, two things that can make us look a little bit cheap, or at least a little bit unkept or not so polished. Well, shoes, talking about polish. When your shoes are scuffed up, when you've been wearing the same pair of shoes for years and they just won't die and they're your favorite pair, but they're looking a little bit worn, they're looking a little bit worse for wear, and you really don't want to give them up. You could have a gorgeous dress on, but it's not going to look great if your shoes are all scraggly. It's looking like they've seen better days. The other thing is chip nail polish, fingers and toes. I used to go and get manicures and pedicures all the time at the nail centres and try and keep my polish looking clean and fresh. These days, I don't have a budget one in my town. It's a little bit expensive, the place here. So I've been doing my own and I'm keeping up okay. But I must admit, the nail polish on my fingers does get chipped sometimes, and it really bothers me. It really peeves me a lot. I don't know if you've seen these nail polish remover pads by Manicure. I can't live without these now. They seem to be a nice, soft, oily application. They don't dry your fingers and your nails out, and they don't have that offensive smell to them. They are acetone free and they do have vitamin E in them. There's 32 in this little packet here. I'm able to reuse one of these manicure pads at least twice and sometimes up to 3 times. So they're really good value. Speaking of nails, extremely long fingernails. I think that they are quite cheap, and ones with jewels in them, and they're usually fake fingernails. They're not usually someone's own fingernails that can grow that long. I just don't like that look. It's kind of a little bit witchy looking to me. I don't know how else to describe it, but I just think that they look a little bit cheap. And the other thing extreme, and I think particularly on women over 50 or at least over 60, is super long, thick false eyelashes. I'm not against false eyelashes at all. I think they can look fantastic if they're applied right and the size suits your eyes. I think they've got to suit your eyes, suit your face. They've got to suit your look. And some younger women wear them so thick, so long, so heavy. I wonder how they even keep their eyelids up. It seems like it would be a struggle keeping their eyelids up because they look so heavy. I know it's been an Instagram trend for a long time for the younger women. I think over a certain age, they're going to look too Tammy Faye Baker. They're just going to look like fancy dress, or I think they're going to cheapen your look. And two makeup items I think can make you look a bit cheap if you wear them the wrong way, and that is lip liner. When your lip liner is drawn just really quite a long way out from your lips, when it's just too far above, too far below, and it's a really strong color. When the lip liner is a dominant color and the lips inside is a much lighter color, the lipstick, but your lip liner is drawn exaggerated, I think that could be cheap looking. In my opinion, sometimes that can look a little bit burlesque. It can look a little bit theatrical, more like it's for the stage than for real life. I know the trends with wearing lip liner changes, and there was a time where having very distinctive darker line around your lips was a fashion look. I'm not so sure right now whether that's on trend as much, but I'm talking about not just that, I'm talking about drawing the line too far outside your natural lip line. And I think another makeup faux pas that can make us look a little bit cheap, a little bit like Bette Davis in Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, is strong blush and placed in the wrong spot. When women wear really strong colored blush that doesn't really suit their complexion, it's too pink, it's too deep a color, or it's too bright for their complexion, or too orangey for their complexion, and instead of placing it just where it should be, it's right down here underneath the cheekbones. If you're fair like I am, and I really love to wear blush, I wear blush most days, and I wear a cream sometimes, and I also wear a powder blush sometimes. I don't wear any blush with a strong pigmentation. Some women like to wear blush on the apples of their cheeks, and that's not wrong for them to do so if it suits their face. And some of us like that more traditional look where we sweep it up toward the top of the ear. Wearing too much, wearing a blush with a strong pigmentation, and particularly when it's falling right down here below your cheek line.